just saw a clip from Love and Death on HBO Max, which you can see right here on Roku. Elizabeth Olsen, along with Jesse Plemons, Kristen Ritter, and more, including you, Tom Pelphrey. Again, thrilled to have you here on the program. So you getting a script for this show, what was your first reaction? Did you immediately start learning about the real story behind it? What was this like for you, Tom?
Yeah, I did. Well, I couldn't put it down. You know, they sent the first 4. I was filming something else at the time. I figured I'd do one a day.
Sure.
Sat down with the first one and read straight through all 4. Was really taken by the kind of dark comedy nature of the tone of the script, you know. And then I went online and saw just how real and faithful the script was to real life. So it was an actual murder that took place in Wiley, Texas.
Yes.
In 1980.
And not just any old, straight up, I guess, crime either.
No, it was an affair that ended in an axe murder.
There you go. Ooh.
Yeah.
So this is not a sequel to How I Married an Axe Murderer, is basically what you're saying. It's an actual true story here.
True story.
That actually happened.
Yeah.
And you jumped in with both feet.
Yeah, so I played Don Crowder, who was a sort of a friend of Candy Montgomery. Candy Montgomery is the woman accused of the murder. And they live in this small town, Wiley, Texas. And Don is on the church board with Candy.
Yes.
And Don is a personal injury lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
But when Candy's accused of the crime, she wants a lawyer that she feels comfortable with. So she goes to Don, who is her friend, and he tries her case. And it's the first time he'd ever tried a homicide case.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a lot to learn, I guess, from the character and what you needed to do to get involved in this whole thing.
Yeah, and then there's great source material, and I learned a lot about Don, who played football.
Ah.
Don played at SMU for 2 years as a running back.
So you got a free car?
I don't think
We didn't learn that?
I don't think they gave. I think he was like 5'9", 175. So I don't think he was getting any free cars.
He didn't get the Eric Dickerson treatment? Is that
No,
what you're saying?
no.
So because I'm trying to figure this out. If Don was, I guess your age in 1980, this predates the Pony Express. SMU.
I think it
running back
does.
days. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to interrupt. So he played at SMU.
Played at
right?
SMU and then he got an invitation to what was the Washington Redskins to try out with them for the summer.
Okay.
And the team doctor wouldn't allow him because he had an orbital fracture from college.
Ah.
And he was so small, the doctor was like, we're not letting you in the camp.
And thus his legal career was born.
Literally.
And then that's how he wound up in the middle of this whole, I guess you can't even call it a triangle. It's kind of like a square, right? A love square, love rectangle.
Right.
Okay.
A love square with 2 people kind of left out in the cold.
Got it. Love and Death on HBO Max. Again, it starts on April 27th on draft night. And then new episodes releasing weekly through May 25th right here on the Rich Eisen Show. So you are from New Jersey? Is that where you're from?
Howell, New Jersey, yeah.
Where? So what exit is that?
Exit 98, Central Jersey.
Central Jersey? And that's
going
Mr.
to
Livingston,
Point
New
Pleasant.
Jersey over there.
That's my
Oh,
that's my
come
area.
on.
It's my area. I used to DJ at Jenks.
Get out of here.
Swear to God. Yep.
Oh, my God.
Is it possible you've
My friend's
been
family
to
owns all
Jenks
that.
while he's DJ'd?
It's
Is that
very possible I've been
I
to
did
Jenks.
89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94.
No,
They are
I
the
wasn't.
Osprey.
They weren't letting me in back. The Osprey. Remember when the Osprey was painted with the mural with Hulk Hogan on the side?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
This is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. So, again, you just heard that's our audio executive, as he likes to be referred to, Mike Del Tufo right there from Livingston, New Jersey, as he could have easily said 89 to 94, but he went year by year.
Yeah.
He sounds like he's from New Jersey.
Yeah.
You do not.
Yeah.
So what happened?
You know, it kind of happened naturally. I didn't ever focus on losing my accent. But
Did you used to have one? For real?
No. And this is strange because my friend who grew up 4 doors down from me talks like this, like, Tommy, come on, like what are you doing?
It's like Mikey D, right over there.
Yeah.
That's,
So
I never lost it.
No,
30 years out
no.
here.
And you never should because it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you, Mike. Thank
Wow.
you, brother.
It's a beautiful
I love
thing.
it. I love it.
Yeah.
I still say water.
Okay.
Water, coffee.
Coffee, chocolate. There's certain things
you
like,
don't have it.
what do you put your socks in?
Hamper or hamper?
When they're clean.
The drawer?
Draw.
Yeah, I say draw.
Draw. It's a
Yeah.
draw.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you do what Mike does as well? Like when he plays us something to hear and listen to, he says, "Watch this." That's a Jersey
That's
thing.
a really particularly weird thing for Mike in particular to do, given that he is the sound
He does
engineer.
that. He does that. I'm from Staten Island, which is practically a borough of New York as well as New Jersey. So I grew up with people like Mike, and I sometimes will slip in. My New York accent will come out.
Yeah.
New York accent. When I first started,
nice.
when I first started on TV doing sports, I would talk about the NCAA tournament, and then I literally had to write the word tournament down, TOUR-nament on my script.
Yeah.
So I would say tournament, tournament.
Would they give you a hard time by your accent?
Well, I would, it just, yeah. I mean, I think people, you keep them guessing. I honestly, having watched you in Ozark, would never have guessed that's a Jersey guy in a million years. So you're a terrific actor, but you're also saying you lost your accent a while ago. That's what you're saying.
I don't
never
know
had one.
that I ever had a strong one, and the one that I've had, I haven't lost in terms of water and
There you go.
chocolate.
I heard it right there.
Yeah.
And so, do you have a sports team from New York City?
Oh
that you
yeah,
love? Okay.
Die Hard, Bleed Blue, New York Giants.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
the whole family.
The whole family.
The whole family. When I was a kid, my dad was a Cowboys fan. Now my grandfather was the hardcore Giants fan. I remember being very young, and my father bought me a raincoat, Cowboys raincoat. Brought me over at grandparents' house. My grandfather had me walk over to him, and he took off the coat and he put me on his lap and he said, "Rich, never again." And it never happened again.
Never again. Is that what he said?
Yeah, never again. Not Cowboys on this kid.
Ever.
No.
And that was the end of that.
Yeah.
Well, the Cowboy fan behind you, and TJ, you have to appreciate that sort of bitterness.
It's hard to appreciate anything when the Giants are involved. So
I'm trying to give the idea if you were too young to be in what's the name
Jenkins
of it?
into the Oscar.
Okay, so then when did you start? Like when was your era of Giants fandom?
I mean, the
Parcells?
hardcore passion, know everything is the Eli era, obviously.
Okay, sure.
But
Right.
Phil Simms, Bravaro,
Those guys.
LT, Parcells, that's when I was a kid watching my grandfather, my uncles, my dad would watch the Giants, obviously, as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you locked into them right now, or
Oh,
just
yeah.
okay?
Oh, yeah.
So what do you think of Daniel Jones getting $40 million a year?
I love it. I think it's time that it's time that we had good management in place.
Okay.
We have a good general manager I feel confident in.
That's true.
And I feel that if he feels confident in Jones, I was reading stories that were saying that Dabol was telling Wink Martindale what the plays were in the offseason without Daniel Jones knowing. So the defense was anticipating what the offense was going to do because he wanted to frustrate him, and he wanted to see how he kept his composure, and obviously he did. And I think he can do it all. I think the last few years we've kind of been garbage, and maybe not the best systems or coaches to help him out.
Right.
And considering what he did last year with basically all of our wide receivers hurt,
Yes.
that
playoff game against Minnesota was truly what every Giant fan had been hoping Daniel Jones had in him, that he showed up. And again, that was a typical Giants affair, one would think, in of recent years, give up a touchdown to start the game, then a holding penalty to set them back inside the 10-yard line to start their first drive of the game with everyone going crazy in Minnesota. And he and Saquon just dominated.
Oh,
Personally
incredible.
ended that day for the Vikings, ended the season for the Vikings. And Saquon's not there yet, but I think they'll get him handled.
I hope so.
He's one of the best.
He is one of the best, and he deserves it. Like he hung in there, good face of the franchise. Him and Daniel Jones both actually. You see guys like Eli, Derek Jeter. Those guys that handle themselves in New York.
Yes.
And then you see other people implode or do foolish things, and
Right.
you realize how special it is that those guys can be leaders in that market.
Yeah.
Well,
And we've had Daniel Jones on this show, and he sounds like Eli. He's got the syntax. He's got the same manner of speaking. It's the whole damn thing. The reason why that guy across the way with the Red Sox hat in front of him is not saying anything right now is he's a Patriot fan. And also, he thinks Daniel Jones is going to step on his you-know-what, right? Is that what you think, Chris? You go ahead.
I mean, not so many words, but yes, I don't think he's just super average. And to pay a guy $40 million because he played fine in one playoff game is kind of ludicrous.
We're throwing you into the sports talk mosh pit
But
right now,
Chris,
Tom Pelphrey.
is this just like hard feelings still maybe from 2012 or maybe from 2008?
Great question.
Absolutely not. Has nothing to do with the past. I'm looking at the future. I actually care about you as a Giants fan and where your organization is going in the future. I don't want you to blow all your money on this guy who kind of stinks. Like, how did he play against the Eagles?
I don't know if you heard Chris while you were in our green room.
Thank you,
he said it's lying season in the NFL right now. I think you saying you care about him as a Giant fan, I think that's a lie.
Well, he's our guest.
Understood.
And I want him to feel welcome.
Yeah.
And I want
Now we see no possibility of like the Josh Allen progression. I'm not saying that Daniel Jones is going to be Josh Allen, but like year by year, finally having a good coaching system in place. We don't see that as a possibility.
And Dabol is the through line.
Yep.
Tom Pelphrey knows what he's talking about.
I think Dabol's a really good coach. Need him to practice better hygiene with wearing the sunscreen.
I don't know if he knows what you. I don't know if he knows what you're referring to. He does not know.
We'll get to it.
Okay.
But no, we've never seen the year-to-year improvement in a player ever before than we did in Josh Allen. And it seems unlikely that that's going to happen again with a guy who's now entering his 6th year in the league.
But he's not entering his 6th year. He's entering his 5th year. And we saw flashes his rookie season.
Flying season.
We did see flashes his rookie season.
He's very fast.
His first start in place of Eli, if I'm not mistaken, was in Tampa, Florida, and he lit it up. He absolutely destroyed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's my job.
Yeah.
But yes, he did do that. And then even John Mara said that they blew it with him, and he gave him a chance this year, and they didn't pick up his 5th-year option, and he just went ahead and just said, here's my bag, fill it up, and they had to. And so, I understand what you're saying.
Hey, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Again, he doesn't mean that. He doesn't mean that at all. But in reference of what you're saying,
yes,
there was an annual gathering of the NFL, the owners meeting that just happened.
Right.
All the coaches are there, and there's a coach's photograph that we're putting up on the screen. And you could see second from the left in the top row is the coach of the year, your coach, Brian Dabol, who it looks like he's wearing a bandana. But as a matter of fact, and in this stuff, Chris and I are totally into. You might not, because you have this beautiful flowing mane. We're genuinely concerned as a member of the Bald Brotherhood that this is
got a sunscreen.
And when he comes on, we have to question his judgment.
Yeah, that is verging on purple.
And look at that.
Yeah.
Like a zip up. It's like 80 degrees out. We don't know what he's thinking.
That's the same color that Coach Coughlin turned in Green Bay.
Yeah! Maybe it's homage.
Summertime homage.
We didn't think of that.
Didn't think about that. That's next level.
Yeah.
Yes. We did have Coughlin on this show recently and asked him about that.
If he was
if he was thought out, if his face broke that day.
Oh my God!
Right?
Yeah, Lambeau, man, wasn't a good look.
And by the way, he ended Brett Favre's Packers career. That was Brett Favre's last game as a Packer.
Wow.
See ya. And then, just to bring it all full circle, the Giants went on and prevented the Patriots from having the perfect season.
Of course.
Which is why Tom Pelphrey is accusing you of bitterness and lying to his face today.
I'm not. Like I said, Tom's our guest. I want him health and happiness, especially in your sports fandom. But
he's a liar.
You didn't have to pay him 40. You could have gave him 30, and it would have been the same.
We'll see.
We will see, won't we? Tom Pelphrey here on the Rich Eisen Show. Before I let you go, I want to talk Ozark. Any scenes that you were part of, legitimately, you needed to take a break after shooting?
There was one scene we filmed that you ended up only hearing the audio of, but we filmed it. Mm-hmm. And that was a scene where I was in the jail cell. Mm-hmm. And Wendy and Marty are outside, if you remember, and I think they hear me screaming on the TV screen, Wendy, let me out, whatever.
Yeah.
And we filmed it, though, and they had me in the jail cell, and I just kind of lost my mind a little bit, and I put my hand through the wall a few times and was really shaken up and kind of crying, and finished the scene. And Went and sat down, and they brought me an ice pack, and I was you kind of just come down, and it's just part of the thing. You get worked up, and then you come down. I'm not any kind of method actor, nor claim to be, but I was rattled, and I knew how it looked from the outside when the executive producer, the showrunner, Chris Mundy, who's an angel of a human being, came and sat down across from me, said, "Hey, buddy, I'm going to drive you home tonight." And I was like, oh my God, what do I look like right now? It's okay. I can drive myself.
Really?
But you realize in that moment, where it's like when people who are around that all day, all of a sudden looking at you like, hey, you okay?
So you even shook the producers? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. In that one moment, it was a little intense.
Were you supposed to hit the wall? Or was that just your choice?
Just kind of happened. Yeah.
Did you break anything?
No, the wall.
Right.
My hand was a little swollen, but it was fine. But yeah, that was, you saw the role, and it was, you kind of get the opportunity to go to the extreme of kind of behavior, and the writers gave me a chance to do it, and I, didn't want to let them down.
Well, it was heartbreaking. I mean, in that scene in particular, heartbreaking because, your character battling with mental health issues, you needed meds, and you also knew how you were off them, and you knew how you were on them, and you also knew that if you stayed where you were, it would not end well for you. You were begging to get out, and, Wendy being your sister, and then that relationship going where it was.
Oof.
Heartbreaking. It was difficult for me to watch it. And watch your character go through it, knowing you needed some help, but also knowing that you were putting some, your sister and brother-in-law in significant jeopardy based on your behavior.
Absolutely. And in that environment, anyone's going to be in danger anyway. But then you introduce somebody who's struggling with mental illness on that level, the chances of them being able to maintain themselves in that environment is next to nothing. So it's kind of written like a perfect tragedy in a way, when we as the audience understand what the birds are doing and understand how tense everything is around them and how high the stakes are. You introduce a character like Ben, and from the beginning, you almost know it has to end badly.
Well, the first scene, Ben is beating the crap out of somebody.
Yeah.
Was that the first scene you actually filmed as the character? Or what?
Yes, it was. And Bateman was directing that day. I remember it well. Yeah, it was the first thing we did. Obviously, a lot of fun. What a great introduction for a character.
I mean, that show, talk about edge of your seat, not knowing where things are going to go. Everything goes dark. Like you're always wondering how dark can it possibly get? And it gets darker. And then the heavyweights you were acting with in this show.
Yeah.
The scenes you're doing with Julia Garner, I mean, she is spectacular. I was stunned she didn't win the Emmy for her role. Obviously, there's so many other talented people.
She won. She won 3 of them.
She won. I thought the latest one she didn't.
Maybe not. Maybe you're right.
Because this last year, she was killing it. I mean, the whole final season was remarkable. The last couple of seasons were the whole damn thing. I know I'm babbling.
No, it really was. It really was. And Julie is incredible. Julie is very visceral and raw, obviously, and it's a very powerful thing. And she's also very smart how she played that character.
Yes.
And the other thing about Ozark that I think is so difficult that Love and Death actually accomplishes as well.
Yes.
But it's that no matter how serious it gets, you find yourself laughing.
Yes.
I think that's such a hard line to walk. It's kind of like a Breaking Bad line to walk, where no matter how intense and serious this is getting, it's funny.
Well, I know death isn't on the line, but Succession's kind of like that too, to talk about another HBO Max program.
Yes.
That Love and Death is part of right now. And I'm finding myself laughing out loud, but I was laughing out loud at Ozark quite a bit too, just at times. But also just as a nervous laugh. I mean, my God.
I know. Well, that's the thing, right? Some of the violence is so extreme.
Right.
You kind of laugh.
Right. And so you think Love and Death is kind of up the alley of all the Ozark fans to go check out, would you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited for you.
Thanks, brother.
I'm very excited for you. And thanks for coming on here. Certainly when Daniel Jones starts 8-0 and is lighting up the NFC East, come back and let's talk about it and see how Bailey Zappi's comparing.
Exactly, because Mac Jones is getting shot by your coach, huh?
Tom Pelphrey!
Man.
Tom Pelphrey is in the house!
Kaboom!
Nothing to say.
Look who just stepped in the room!
Good
Man.
luck to you, Tom.
Good luck to you.
He's truly, because I've known him for well over a decade now. He's biting his lip right now. He's trying to be nice to the guest.
You're a gentleman. You're a gentleman.
That might be a little strong. Your coach is he is shopping him. He's
I want
shopping
my
him.
coach gone.
Oh, did you like that? Yes.
Yeah,
Are
that's
you
the other thing.
kidding
Tom.
I
me?
told you if we just scratch beneath the surface.
You want your coach gone? Maybe the greatest coach in the history of the NFL?
What's he doing for me right now?
Wow.
Right now, what's he doing?
Zippo.
Wow.
No, not Zippo. Zappy.
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 That's why I
You
said
said it wrong.
Zappy.
You said it wrong.
Come on, Mike.
I said it on purpose.
Whatever.
No,
Nah,
he
you
didn't.
didn't.
He set me up like a spinning curve in the zone.
Hopkins doesn't want to come play there. Who's he going
I
to
know,
throw
did you
to?
see him?
Who's
He was
Bailey
like,
Zappi going to throw to?
I mean,
Lost Aguilar.
Well, Hopkins was never going to go there anyway because of Bill O'Brien.
Yeah.
Gesicki
we
is
love
there
this.
now.
Oh, yeah. Because they made great use of the tight ends last year.
Yeah, it's terrible. We're in a terrible spot. So I got to bring people down with me like Daniel Jones.
Tom Pelphrey is my new
Bruins
favorite
in the
guest on the Rich Eisen Show. This is fantastic.
You got the Bruins in this cell.
Fantastic.
He's fine.
Congratulations in advance of Love and Death. HBO Max is where you can watch Love and Death starting on Thursday, April 27th. New episodes releasing weekly through May 25th. You can see that right here on Roku. Tom Pelphrey, thank you for coming on here.
Thank you so much for having me, Rich.
You got to come back.
I would love to.
You got to come back. You know what? It's kind of like the jug handle. You know, you just got to go around and then you just go come right back.
Yeah, there's no lefts. We
That the
go
word?
right to go
That's
left.
it.
Can't
That's
pump
right.
your own gas.
You can't pump your own gas.
You can't pump your own
What
gas.
else?
What do we do?
What else?
Pay to go on the beach.
You got to pay to go on the beach.
That's right.
That's
My
right.
friends make a
Unless the
lot of
governor
money
shuts
on
it down
that.
for himself.
Oh, my
But
God.
that's what you do.
Yeah.
You go to Newark Airport and you go watch Mike Del Tufo between 1989 and 94.
It's also
89
the
and
only
60.
state you got to pay to leave. You go to New York, you pay. You go to Philly, you pay. You pay to get out. You don't pay to get in.
You don't. That's true.
That's right.
That's true.
That's right.
That's right. All
Hey,
the
just look at
bridges. Hey, going
just to bring it full circle on HBO Max. Just any episode of The Sopranos. That's how it opens.
Yeah.
He's pulling a ticket. He's pulling a ticket.
16W.
Tony Soprano's pulling a ticket to go home.
16W.
I love it.
Some easy pass back there.
Tom Pelphrey, at Tom Pelphrey on Twitter and at Tommy Pelphrey on Instagram, right here on The Rich Eisen Show. Catch The Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.